Life is like a garden. What you plant grows. Plant care, you get beauty. Plant neglect, you get weeds. The first habit, wake up with the sun. Breathe the cool air. Let the morning light touch your face. When you rise early, your day smiles back at you. The world before sunrise is a secret gift. The sky still dark, the streets still asleep, the air carrying a kind of silence that feels ancient. To rise early is to step into this gift before it disappears. It is to wake before the weight of the day arrives, before noise and duties scatter the mind. The morning light waits for no one, yet it greets those who come early with open arms. There is something different about the first rays of the sun. They do not shout, they whisper. They stretch slowly over rooftops, through branches, across fields, painting the earth with gold. When you rise early, you see this painting unfold before anyone else does. It feels as though the universe is letting you in on a secret only the patient can hear. The early hours belong to the stillness. This is the time when the mind is clear, uncluttered, untouched by the rush that comes later. When you wake with the sun, you feel a calm that cannot be borrowed from coffee or hurried schedules. It is born from the rhythm of nature itself. Birds know it. Flowers know it. The earth itself moves to this rhythm, turning slowly toward the warmth that gives life. You join this dance when you rise early. You become part of something bigger than yourself. There is power in watching the world wake up. The way the darkness fades, how the air smells fresher, how the shadows slowly retreat as light spreads across the land. It teaches you something without words. It shows you that change does not always have to be loud or sudden. It can be gentle, steady, inevitable. The sun does not rush, yet it always arrives. Rising early gives you this lesson every day without speaking it aloud. The mind in the morning is like a blank page. What you write on it sets the tone for the hours ahead. If you fill it with peace, the day carries that peace. If you fill it with gratitude, the day bends toward joy. This is why the early hours matter. They are soft clay. They can be shaped. Once the noise begins, once the demands start pulling at you from every direction, the clay hardens. It takes the shape you gave it early on. This is why rising early feels like holding the steering wheel of the day before it moves on its own. Even the body knows the value of morning light. Science tells us that sunlight wakes up the hormones that keep us alive and alert. It tells our inner clock that the day has begun. But beyond science, there is something the heart feels when sunlight first touches the skin. It is warmth, but also renewal, a kind of quiet promise that life begins again. Each day, no matter what happened yesterday, people who rise early often find that time moves differently. An hour in the morning feels longer than an hour later in the day, perhaps because it belongs entirely to you. No one is asking yet. No one is calling yet. The world has not found you. It is a pocket of freedom that disappears if you sleep through it. Those who learn to claim this pocket often carry its calm with them, long after the sun has climbed high and the world has fully awakened. The body was never meant to stay still for too long. Like rivers, like wind through the trees, like blood through the veins, it was designed for movement. When you move your body, you wake it up from its long silence. You remind it that it is alive. The joints creak softly at first. The muscles stretch like animals rising from sleep. The heart begins to beat a little faster. It is as if the whole body whispers thank you when you start to move. The morning is the best time for this. The air is cooler, lighter, carrying fewer burdens from the day ahead. A walk under the pale sun, steps falling in rhythm. Breath matching the pace does more than exercise the legs. It clears the mind too. The worries of yesterday loosen their grip as each step carries them further away. With every movement, the body speaks to the mind, saying, we can begin again. Some move with soft stretches, slow and careful, like water flowing through stones. Others run, feet striking the ground like drums waking the earth. Some dance with no music but their own heartbeat. It does not matter how you move. What matters is that you do. The body loves variety. It was made to bend, twist, reach, turn. Movement is a language older than words, and when you speak it, the body listens, the spirit listens too. Too much sitting makes the body heavy. The muscles tighten, the back complains, the mind grows restless. This is not how we were shaped by nature. Look at animals. Birds stretch their wings before flying. Cats arch their backs in long, graceful curves after resting. Even trees sway in the wind, refusing to stay perfectly still. Everything alive moves in some way because movement is life itself. When you move, the blood carries fresh oxygen to every corner of the body. The lungs open wide, the heart learns strength. Movement is not only for strength or shape, it is for energy. The kind of energy that spreads warmth through the limbs, that lights up the eyes, that makes the spirit rise a little higher. Without movement, energy becomes stagnant like water that does not flow. With movement, energy runs free like rivers heading toward the sea. The mind, too, is changed by movement. A walk can untangle thoughts better than sitting still ever could. Problems shrink when the feet move, when the arms swing, when the body remembers that life is motion, not stillness. Many ideas are born while walking under the open sky, while running along quiet paths, while moving without hurry but without pause. The body moves, and the mind follows. Those who move daily feel the difference, not only in muscles and bones but in mood. A tired mind becomes lighter after exercise, as if each step shakes off layers of dust that had settled overnight. Even 10 minutes of movement can turn the day in a new direction. It can lift the weight of sleepiness, boredom, or sadness. It can bring back colors to a day that felt gray. The body carries us through every experience, every joy, every hardship. Caring for it through movement is not a luxury but a duty. It is the respect we give to the vessel that holds us. And when we move it with purpose, with regular rhythm, with love for the life flowing inside it, the body gives back in ways that go beyond strength or endurance. It gives back vitality, clarity, and the quiet happiness of simply being alive. The body is built from what we feed it. Every cell, every breath, every drop of energy comes from the food that passes through our hands, our mouths, our lives. Yet in the noise of modern living, eating has become hurried, careless, distant from its roots. We forget that food is not just fuel, it is life entering life. To eat simple, natural, wholesome foods is to honor that life. It is to return to a way of eating that feels as old as the earth itself. When you eat foods close to nature, you taste the sun, the soil, the rain, the wind. A ripe fruit carries the warmth of the season that raised it. A fresh vegetable holds the memory of the ground that fed it. Grains, nuts, seeds, all of them carry silent stories of the earth's generosity. When we eat them simply, without drowning them in excess, we let those stories speak. We allow the body to hear what nature has been whispering all along. I give you what you need. Nothing less, nothing more. Simple food does not mean empty food. It means food that is not trapped in layers of chemicals, sugars, oils, and processing. It means a plate that looks alive, full of colors that exist in nature, not in factories. The red of tomatoes, the green of leafy vegetables, the yellow of mangoes, the white of rice, the deep brown of nuts. These colors are signs of life. A rainbow on the plate is a rainbow in the body. Wholesome foods do more than fill the stomach. They fill the body with clean energy, the kind that burns steady and long rather than quick and empty. Heavy, processed, artificial foods weigh the body down like stones. They leave the mind foggy, the heart sluggish, the spirit restless. Natural foods lift instead of sink. They bring clarity to the mind, lightness to the body, ease to the day. There is a kind of quiet wisdom in eating slowly, tasting each bite as though it were the first and last. Too often, meals are rushed, eaten while standing, scrolling, talking, driving. The body notices this hurry. It struggles to keep up, to break down food while the mind is already somewhere else. When you eat slowly, when you chew well, when you give the moment to the meal alone, the body responds with gratitude. Digestion softens. Energy rises more smoothly. The simple act of eating becomes almost sacred again. Natural foods also carry balance in them. Fruits cool the body when the days are hot. Warm grains and roots nourish when the air grows cold. The earth seems to know what we need and when we need it. Those who listen to seasons, who eat what grows near them rather than what travels across the globe to reach them, feel this balance more deeply. The body feels at home when it eats food that belongs to its place and time. Simple eating does not deny pleasure. A fresh orange bursting with juice, a loaf of bread still warm, a handful of nuts on a quiet afternoon. These bring a kind of pleasure far beyond the loud sweetness of artificial snacks or the heavy comfort of greasy meals. It is a quieter pleasure, one that lasts longer, one that does not fade into regret afterward. The body knows the difference even if the tongue forgets. The world is full of noise. Cars rushing, phones ringing, voices rising, screens glowing. Even when the body is still, the mind keeps moving, running in circles, carrying the weight of yesterday, the worries of tomorrow. To live like this for too long is to forget the taste of silence. Yet silence is where the mind heals, where the heart breathes, where life slows enough for us to see it clearly again. Moments of silence do not have to be grand or long. They can be small pauses stitched into the day like beads on a thread. A few breaths before the morning begins. A quiet minute at the window watching clouds drift by. Sitting under a tree and listening to the wind moving through leaves. These are simple acts, yet they feel like doors opening to something deeper than thought. Mindfulness grows in these spaces. It is not a complicated practice. It does not ask you to escape the world or to fight your thoughts. It simply asks you to notice. To notice the way your feet touch the ground when you walk. To notice the taste of water when you drink. To notice the sound of your own breathing when everything else goes still. Each small noticing brings the mind back from its wandering, back from its endless planning and remembering, into the only moment that truly exists, this one. In silence, things reveal themselves. The rush of life hides many truths, but when you sit quietly, they rise to the surface. You see how fast your mind runs when you stop chasing it. You see how many emotions move through you in a single hour when you stop distracting yourself from them. At first, the noise inside might seem louder than the noise outside, but if you stay with it, if you breathe and watch, the noise softens. Like waves that crash less violently once the storm passes, the mind too begins to settle. Daily silence becomes like a mirror. It shows you yourself without the blur of business. Sometimes you notice tension you didn't know you carried. Sometimes you see gratitude rising like sunlight breaking through clouds. Sometimes you simply feel your own heartbeat and realize you have not listened to it in a long time. These small discoveries change the way you meet the day. They make you softer, calmer, less hurried, less lost. The body feels this too. Stress tightens muscles, quickens the heart, floods the system with chemicals that prepare it for a danger that isn't there. Silence undoes this. Breathing deeply, sitting still, watching the thoughts come and go without chasing them. This tells the body it is safe. Shoulders drop, jaw loosens. The tightness in the chest melts slowly like ice in sunlight. When silence and mindfulness become a daily habit, even the noisy moments of life feel different. The mind learns to carry quietness within it, like a candle flame that does not go out even when the wind blows. Work still demands energy. People still bring their chaos. Life still moves fast. But somewhere beneath it all, there is a stillness that does not shake so easily. Kindness is a language the heart speaks before the mind finds words. It is simple, light, easy to carry, yet it changes the weight of a day for someone else. A smile given to a stranger, a hand reaching out when someone falls, a few words of encouragement when the road feels too long. These things cost nothing, yet they leave behind echoes that last far beyond the moment. To give kindness freely is to understand that everyone carries something heavy inside. The face may look calm, The voice may sound steady, but behind the eyes, there might be storms no one else can see. A kind word can feel like sunlight breaking through the clouds. A small gesture can feel like water to a thirsty traveler. You never really know how far a single act of kindness travels once it leaves your hands. Kindness does not wait for the perfect time or the perfect reason. It does not ask whether someone deserves it. It flows naturally, the way rivers flow to the sea without keeping score. When you hold back kindness, waiting for the right moment, too often the moment passes and the chance is gone. But when you give it freely, it grows like seeds scattered by the wind. Some land close by, some travel far, but many take root where you will never see them. Positivity works in the same way. A hopeful voice, a gentle laugh, a way of seeing light even when the sky is dark. These things spread silently, carried from one person to the next like fire catching from candle to candle. When you carry positivity, you give permission for others to do the same. You show them it is possible to look at the same world and see not just the brokenness, but also the beauty, not just the pain, but also the possibility. The habit of kindness changes the one who gives it as much as the one who receives it. The heart softens when it is used often. The walls around it grow thinner. Bitterness finds fewer places to stay. Anger leaves more quickly. Life begins to feel less like a battle and more like a shared journey when kindness becomes the language you speak most often. Kindness can be as small as holding a door or as big as forgiving someone who hurt you. It can be a meal shared, a compliment spoken, a letter written when words are hard to say aloud. Sometimes it is simply listening without rushing to give advice, letting someone spill their thoughts without fear of judgment. These simple things remind people they are not alone in the world. There is a quiet power in choosing to stay kind, even when life is not kind to you. It is easy to let pain harden the heart, to let disappointment make you cold. But kindness is a choice made not because life is perfect, but because you refuse to add more hurt to it. You refuse to let the bitterness win. Those who give kindness freely often find it returns in unexpected ways. Not always from the same people, not always in the same shape, but it circles back like birds returning home after a long season. The world bends toward those who keep its warmth alive, and the warmth grows each time it is given away without demand, without measure, without end. Life does not change in a single leap. It bends slowly, like a tree growing towards sunlight, like rivers carving valleys over centuries. The habits we repeat each day, the small choices we make without fanfare, these are the tools shaping the person we become. One day looks ordinary. The next day feels the same. But over time, the quiet weight of consistency leaves marks no one can ignore. Small habits are often overlooked because they seem too simple, too easy. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, writing a few lines in a journal, taking a walk after dinner, sleeping at the same hour each night. These acts feel like drops in an ocean, too small to matter. Yet it is always the drops that fill the ocean, the pebbles that build the mountain, the steps that finish the journey. Consistency gives habits power. Doing something once changes little. Doing it every day changes everything. A single seed planted grows into nothing if it is abandoned. Water it daily, protect it from weeds, let the sun reach it, and it becomes a tree giving shade to generations. The same law lives in our lives. Effort repeated, no matter how small, becomes strength over time. Discipline grows best in small doses. Many begin with fire and end with ashes because they try to change everything at once. But lasting change comes from gentle repetition, from promises kept to oneself day after day. Wake up at the same hour, read a few pages each night, move the body a little every morning. One habit anchors another until the whole day begins to carry a rhythm like waves meeting the shore again and again without fail. Consistency also builds trust within. When you keep showing up for your own goals, your own health, your own dreams, you begin to believe in yourself differently. Confidence is not built from grand speeches or sudden victories. It grows quietly each time you honor the small commitments no one else sees. The mind begins to say, I can count on you, and that trust becomes the foundation for bigger mountains to climb later. A big life is never one thing. It is 1,000 small things layered over time. The musician practicing scales daily, the writer filling pages no one will read, the athlete training when no one watches, the parent spending a few patient minutes each day listening to their child. These small acts do not shout for attention, but they build futures that speak loudly when the time comes. Even failures bend under consistency. Missing one day does not break the chain if you begin again the next day. Perfection is not the goal. Return is. The habit of returning, of refusing to quit even when enthusiasm fades, even when results are slow. This is where strength hides. Seasons change, years pass, lives shift directions, but habits repeated through it all become roots that hold steady. They keep life from drifting too far off course. They remind you who you are and what you are building even when the world grows noisy or uncertain. The small daily acts become a kind of compass pointing toward the person you wish to be. A happier, healthier life is not built in one day. It grows slowly, like morning light spreading across the sky. It comes through rising early, moving the body, eating simply, sitting in silence, giving kindness, and staying consistent when the days feel heavy. These habits seem small, almost ordinary, but together they shape the way we live, the way we feel, the way we see the world. Happiness does not arrive as a sudden gift. It appears quietly in the choices we repeat, in the rhythms we follow, in the care we give to our bodies, our minds, and to one another.